Welcome back. I'm David Knight, filling in for Alex. I'm joined here in the studio with Anthony Gucciardi. We're going to have Paul Joseph Watson with us starting in the next segment. But we want to take some of your calls right now, see what your experiences are with Black Friday. We've been talking about the zombie consumerism, the concerns that we all have as we see them doing these knockout games, as we see people fighting in Walmart for these little trinkets from China. What does that tell us about human nature? What does that tell us what's going to happen when society begins to fray at the edges, or if we have some kind of sudden infrastructure collapse? Let's go to Randy in Oklahoma. Randy, what do you want to tell us about your Black Friday experience?
Hi, David. Well,
hi.
I'm basically boycotting, although I may go online and get something there at Infowars. I'd encourage people to do that, of course. There's an app I'm aware of, by the way, called Boycott. That might be something people could check out. Listening to Mark, the word idolatry came to mind.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a sign of the desperation of the power structure, of how bad things, how desperate the economy is, and what they're trying to, wring the last bit of money out of the consumers that they can.
And wring the last bit of effort out of their employees. I think it was a really important point that Mark made about employees being forced to work, and this pizza manager who let his employees off was fired and then reinstated. He's the guy who really understands and appreciates his employees, I think. And that's a very important thing. Having owned some retail stores for a while, I understand how important it is to keep good employees, to keep good morale. It really does pay off in the long run. They're looking at a very short-term cycle, I think, when they put these kind of requirements on their employees. Thanks for calling, Randy. I've got Alex has called in, and he always gets to the top of the line. Alex.
That's right. I can't help it. Even when I take off, I end up coming in. That's all I'm thinking about the New World Order. I take off even a day or two, and I feel so good. I'm not exhausted. There's no one on air, and I'm listening to all the great points you're making. It's funny. I had one more point I wanted to make, and that guy just basically made it. It's not that consumer things are bad, or buying stuff you need is bad, or liking a car that runs well is bad, or liking a nice gun. It's that if you'll do anything for it and beat people up at a store, plus it's not even a good deal, it shows it's the same crowd that's looking for a free ride. The point I heard you talking about Mark with Anthony there at the end of the last segment. I know Paul Watson's coming up with key information. And the final equation here, our YouTube channel has 340 million views. Our other channels have about 100 million views. We add up all the other channels, we have 600-plus million views on YouTube now, conservatively. 600 million views, and that's just one outlet. That shows we are the dominant media. We are becoming the dominant media, thanks to DrudgeReport.com and WorldNetDaily.com and all the other true libertarian patriot media, because we understand individualism is freedom. Collectivism in all its forms is slavery, unless it's volunteer collectivism through free association, but that's still an individual collective, so the opposite of a forced collective. So I just wanted to point out that people are hungry. Yes, the zombies are dangerous. Yes, they're zombie-like, but we've got to reach out to them and show them how it's really a scam. They believe the mainstream media that the best deals are in, when that's not even true. But even mainstream media is being forced to now report the truth. So they don't want us on the streets. They don't want churches handing out food. In Austin, they won't let you give homeless people food. They've passed type of regulations where only their controlled systems can hold up society when it collapses, because the collapse is their takeover system. The average cop doesn't know that. The average bureaucrat's not that. We need to reach out to them. They care about their children. They care about the future. So that's what I called in about, was just to set the record straight. We reach 15 million people awake one way or the other. And even in the game YouTube world, 600-plus million views, 340 million on one channel. It's unbelievable. And just continue on. I know Paul Watson got a lot of incredible info coming up. And, I told Drew they have to come in today, but a lot of folks came in. I told you to have to work yesterday. You wanted to go out and shoot video, but that's because you wanted to expose Black Friday. It's a great job, David Knight, and the entire crew that's up there, and everybody else. Alex Jones signing off. I am now over and out.
Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at InfoWarsShop.com None Dare Call a Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, You and Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, filling in for Alex, and I'm joined here in the studio with Anthony Gucciardi. And we've been talking about Black Friday, what that tells us about society. We've got Paul Joseph Watson, who's joining us right now after we talk to Anthony a little bit more. But Anthony, I wanted to give you one last moment here to give us your take on what's going on.
I think the reality here is short and sweet. If the people that are so rabidly outside, just adrenaline pumping through their veins at a primal level to get a piece of plastic made in China, if those same people, the thousands, hundreds of thousands maybe across the country lining up outside at 5 a.m., those same people would take 1% of that drive and put it towards the fight for liberty,
yes,
towards the fight for independence, the Constitution, the fight for reality, we would win tomorrow, period. If those same people would join us and come together and realize those plastic material items, they're worthless. And like Alex said, it's not bad to drive a nice car or, want some material items, when you have the capacity to purchase them and help other people with your funds and everything as well. But if you're frothing over them outside at 2 a.m. waiting to save $50 when you're actually spending $200 more on a TV,
that's right.
That energy needs to be converted. It needs to be completely, transferred into a powerful decision that you're going to fight for liberty and for freedom, and we will win if we can get those people. And I think those people, sure, they are zombies, they are deluded, but at the same time, we can recapture their spirit and we can drive them towards understanding and join our side in the fight against corruption and tyranny and deception.
That's right. It's not money that's the root of all evil. That's often misquoted out of the Bible. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And if we can get these people to understand and love their family and liberty, those issues, understand where they are, the dangers in front of them, I think you'll find them joining people standing in the cold rain, fighting for the First Amendment like you. And so the rest of the Infowars crew and Alex Jones were doing just a week ago in Dallas. It's amazing how much has happened in just a week. But a small, committed group of people is always a thing that changes society, because that small, committed group of people always pulls in a larger group of people. I think that's exactly what we're hoping to see here. And what we're starting to see with the mainstream media being replaced by a more authentic media, like the cover of the Infowars magazine with these dinosaur media looking up and seeing this meteor coming in that's the real media, the real truth that's going viral with people.
That's exactly right. The new media is coming. The dinosaur media is trying to cloak itself and become the new media. They're failing. Bloomberg, I always use this example. Look to Bloomberg. They are the perfect prime beta example of how they are trying to be alternative news, talking about the big banks and how bad they are. Mm-hmm. Then we see actually CBS coming out with some good pieces. Actually, CBS came out with this piece that we covered on Story League about how homeless people aren't allowed to eat Thanksgiving in public parks from churchgoers who are trying to help them.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that from Fox in the past, but then Fox will go in and shut down or marginalize the more libertarian hosts like Judge Napolitano or others. They'll pull them in, they'll get the audience hooked, think, oh yeah, these guys are kind of on the same line, and then they'll move them away. Yeah, exactly
right.
Mm-hmm.
They need that audience or they will actually have zero viewership. I mean, less than 20% according to Gallup polls actually trust them. Mm-hmm. But Fox actually has the highest trust ratings. That's because they do throw in some scraps. They throw in some real news and stuff. But so do most of those channels besides, completely worthless channels like MSNBC. I mean, a lot of the mainstream news now is fusing in this alternative spin on a lot of it because they know they have to survive.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
It's just like someone dying, you know, of an infection. They need the antibiotics, and instead of taking the whole bottle as directed by the doctor, they're just taking some antibiotics here and there, taking away some of the infection. You know, that is the complete establishment control of the mainstream media. But ultimately, they'll never get rid of it unless we force them to and become our own media.
You're absolutely right. Well, thank you, Anthony, for coming in on this Black Friday and giving up your spot in line at Walmart. I really appreciate the sacrifice.
Well, you know, I was there all night, and I just decided I'd have to come in and fight for freedom instead.
At the last minute, you just gave it up and came in and talked to us. Thank you so much for coming in. We've got Paul. Now you can watch the Infowars Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at Infowars.com/show.